Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Kristi and today I have a super easy keto meal prep for you guys. I do this every week and this helps me save time and energy and frustration, especially in the mornings when I'm trying to get my family out the door and lunches packed. So if you're new here and you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and do so. I'll have my name down here on the bottom of the screen for you guys so you can just jump right on over there and find me. And I also have a Facebook group, All Things Keto with Kristi, that I would love for you to join, and I'll have that linked in the description box. Okay, let me show you what I'm making this week. I'm going to be throwing together a very easy breakfast casserole. This one doesn't take long. You can see there's not many ingredients and it's going to be low carb from the ingredients I have here. But just know that this is a base recipe. You know, that's one thing I love to give you guys so that you can customize it so that it fits your family. You can add veggies to this if you want to, broccoli, mushrooms. There's so many things that you could do with this. I'm sticking basically just cheese and meats with this one. So you'll need your eggs, heavy whipping cream. I'm using bacon and sausage in this one, cheese, and whatever spices you want to put in it. You know I'm putting garlic powder and onion powder, and of course some pink salt. So go ahead and brown up 1 pound of sausage. Once the sausage is done, I just take it off the stove and I let it sit and cool a little bit while I get the rest of the ingredients together. In today's recipe, I'm going to be using 12 eggs. So go ahead and get you a large Tupperware bowl or mixing bowl and break your 12 eggs inside that. You're going to be mixing in some other things, so make sure you get one that's pretty decent size. Now that I have my eggs in the bowl, I'm going to add in half a cup of heavy whipping cream and I'm going to whisk this all together. Now add in whatever seasoning and spices your family prefers. I'm adding a little bit of onion, quite a bit of garlic, and some pink salt. Now would be the time to add your pepper. In this recipe, I'm using 2 cups of shredded cheese and I just shred my own. Now to my egg mixture, I'm just going to add in 1 cup of my shredded cheese and give that a whisk also. Next, I'm adding in 3/4 cup of crumbled up bacon. I'm just using the bacon that I pick up at Sam's. You don't even have to use this step if you don't want to. Go ahead and mix that up. I'm just using a deep casserole dish for this recipe. This one I think is like an 8 by 11, 9 by 11, something like that. On the very bottom, I'm going to go ahead and pour in my cooked sausage. I did not drain this because there was very little grease, and this will keep it from sticking to the bottom. If you have a ton of grease, you might want to drain some of that off. But go ahead and make an even layer of sausage on the bottom. Now on top of your sausage layer, you're just going to take your cheese mixture that you've got going and gently pour that evenly over the top. To the very top of our breakfast bake, we're going to take our remainder cheese, which is 1 cup shredded cheese of your choice, and go ahead and sprinkle it on the top of your casserole. This is going to go into a 375 degree oven. I'm going to start out for 25 minutes and then come back and check it. You just want it to set, not get overdone. Breakfast casserole just came out of the oven. I like to leave it in till just when the edges are starting to get golden brown with the cheese. This one was in 30 minutes exactly, so I went ahead and pulled it out. I set it on the countertop so that I can go ahead and let it cool for a little while. Cover it with a glass lid, and then I will put it in the refrigerator. They can cut it up in the mornings as they want it. They can add sour cream, get a chunk of avocado. Sometimes Chris and I will even put like a spoonful of gravy over top of it just to give it that extra, you know, kick. But there's so many things that you can do with this. This is a really simple, versatile recipe, and I hope you guys like it. It is supposed to be a cold week, so I am prepping a huge pot of chili, keto chili, of course. in my crock pot so that Chris and Preston will have it to eat for lunch throughout the week. And this is all it takes. This is a double batch. I'm not going to go through it like I do some other recipes because this is one I've added to my Friday keto recipe series. So I'll have that one linked below for you guys if you want to check it out, and also in the cards above. But everything, including macros, is linked on that recipe video that I did. But you just need beef, you need some broth, diced tomato, and then seasonings, which is chili, onion, garlic, and cumin, and also some salt. This is the grass-fed beef that I pick up at Aldi. It is organic, and I'm gonna go ahead and brown this up in my skillet. This is such a simple recipe to throw together. I think the longest part is browning the hamburger meat. I also picked this up at Aldi. This is the bone broth. I am currently out of my Kettle M50 and waiting on that order. So I'm going to use this one. There's nothing bad in it. It is organic, Simply Nature beef bone broth. And I had just a little bit of chicken left. I went ahead and added that to it because I didn't want it to waste. This is, since I'm doubling the recipe, I'm just going to go ahead and add 32 ounces of that. Next, I'm going to be adding in some fire roasted diced tomatoes. These are the organic Hunts, and this is also the 14.5 ounce cans. Make sure you get ones that don't have any sugar added. Next is going to be all of my seasonings. So I'm going to start out with the garlic, pink Himalayan salt, onion powder, chili powder, several tablespoons of that. And then last is some ground cumin. And then I'm just going to mix all that up. The hamburger meat's done. It doesn't have that much grease, so I don't drain it. You can tell there's hardly any. And I'm just going to go ahead and add this to my crock pot. Once everything's added together, just go ahead and give that a stir. I'm going to cover my crock pot and I'm going to put this on high for about 4 hours. Chili has been cooking for several hours now. I've already turned it down to low. We did go ahead and take one serving out so I can show you, and somebody will eat it. But there's 7 more servings in this to use throughout the week, but this is so good. And you can make cornbread muffins to go with this. Keto, of course. Keto crackers. I have the keto cracker recipe on my channel. I just go ahead and mix all this together, and it just makes it so rich and creamy. I'm going to make some sugar-free peanut butter cups. So all you need is Lily's chocolate. I'm using the milk chocolate. This is the no stir peanut butter that is organic from Walmart. The only thing in this, of course, is sea salt and dry roasted peanuts and some confectioner's sugar, and I'm using Swerve. I'm going to use my little molds today. These silicone molds will be linked below for you. I highly recommend this. It's a huge set that you get. You get this, the muffin pan, and also some little cupcake liners. These things have been amazing. So that's all you need. I'm going to start out by microwaving my Lily's chocolate chips in a microwave safe container, and I'll do those in about 20-second intervals and stir it until it gets melted. Once I have it melted, I'm going to go ahead and layer several of these on the very bottom with just a little bit of the chocolate. I went ahead and just coated 16 of the little molds. You could do more if you want to melt more chocolate. I only melt half a bag at the time so that I can coat these. Once I set these in the freezer so that they set up, then we'll put the filling inside. This only takes a few minutes because it is just a thin layer. For the filling this time, I'm going to be making some that are just regular peanut butter, which I'll mix with a little bit of confectioner's sugar just to give it a Reese cup consistency. Then in some of the other ones, I will be adding some of the Perfect Keto nut butters. If you've not tried these, they are amazing. I do have a discount code for Perfect Keto, and I highly suggest these. As you can tell, yeah, This one is my favorite and it's almost gone, but I want to try making one or two with what's left. And then the other favorite in the house is the chocolate hazelnut, and this one tastes like Nutella. These are really good, great ingredients. And if I'm buying a nut butter that's an almond butter, this is it, because these also have MCT oil added. I don't have an exact recipe for this because it's just one of those foods that I make that's so simple. All I did was stir up my nut butter and just put 2 large spoonfuls in here, and that's what I'm going to start out with. And then I'm going to add some of the Swerve confectioner's sugar and mix that all together. Here's what it looks like so far, and I'm not happy with the consistency, so I'm going to add a little bit more Swerve, but this is all personal preference. Here's the consistency I like. It's sort of a doughy consistency, but you can see where the sugar has made it a lot thicker. And before you add in your nut butters from Perfect Keto, if you're going to try those, you'll want to knead these bags up really good to make sure everything is mixed. These were only in the freezer for 5 minutes, and you can see that they're already set up and they're going to pop out really easy. You don't want to pop them out yet. You want to go ahead and fill them up with your centers. I'm going to start out with the Perfect Keto Chocolate Hazelnut Nut Butter. I love the fact that these just have the squeeze top on them and the lid. I think I'm just going to do 4 with these because this is Kerrigan's favorite. This next batch, I'm going to use the peanut butter and confectioner's Swerve that I mixed together and just fill some of those up. And then I'm going to add the almond butter and jelly Perfect Keto to these remainder 3 if I have enough. I probably won't because, like I said, I ate all this nut butter because it's my favorite. I melted up the rest of my chocolate chips, the other half of the bag, and then I'm just going to put the chocolate on top of the peanut butter. Although it looks like a disaster now because of the silicone mold, it will be fine. Once we put these in the freezer for a few minutes, that chocolate is going to harden up, and when these pop out of the molds, they're going to be perfect. These have only been in about 5 minutes and they are already set up, so I'm going to go ahead and take them out. Let me show you how easy these pop right out of these silicone molds. You have to get these, they're amazing. So here is what one little treat is going to look like. I don't have the macros or any of the information like that. We just fix these and eat them as a treat. I'll put these in the refrigerator and store them there. That way the insides stay a little thicker. But again, these just pop right out. Functional, you can take these as a dessert somewhere if you're taking like little finger foods. I left one in because I want to eat this one and show you guys exactly what it looks like on inside. I do have these separated, of course. So this one was the Nutella. The ones in the middle are the peanut butter. And these are the almond butter and jelly. And there's what they look like on the inside. You can make the filling thicker if you want. Okay, I'm just going to put these in the glass lock and lock with a lid and store them in the refrigerator. Here's your weekly reminder to go ahead and fry up your sausage. This is the sausage I pick up at Aldi. It's Appleton Farms and it has no sugar added. I'll just store this in a glass airtight container in the refrigerator and we'll have it throughout the week as we need it. I'm going to meal prep the kids, especially some of the thin cut pork chops. It's one of their favorite things to eat on, and they usually eat them as a snack, but prep for these is basically non-existent. All I do is just open them up and I'm going to throw them in the air fryer. I do get the thin cut ones at Aldi, and that's the ones we like. I arrange these in the air fryer in a single layer. Then I'm going to add a little bit of avocado to the tops. What I do is just put it on there. I use my little brush that I pick up at Dollar Tree and I coat these with the avocado oil. Once I have them coated with oil, I pick out the seasonings I'm going to use. I think I'll use Tony's this time on this batch, and then on the next batch I'll use something completely different. So all I do is just shake a little bit of this on there, and again I'm going to take my little brush and make sure everything is rubbed in. Just make sure it's coated. Then these are going to go in the air fryer. I leave it on 350, but I do change the time down to, it depends on the thickness, so anywhere between 8 and 10 minutes. So I'm going to go with 9 on this one. I love this air fryer. It's pretty large, that way I can do a big batch at once. If you want to check it out, I will have it linked below for you. Okay, these just turned off. Over here. I'm just going to remove these with a clean fork and put them in my glass lock and lock container. Then I'll start the next layer. Same process with these. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on one, and then I'll just brush it on all of them to get it coated. I'm going to coat this round with some Old Bay. Those are nice and coated, and I'm going to do the same thing. Put these in for 9 minutes. Okay, last batch is done. In my glass container, I just went ahead and put all the ones that I cooked first over to the side since they've had about 10 minutes to cool. I'm going to take this batch out and layer them on this side. That way at least they'll be separated. Once these have cooled down, I'll just put my lid on them and store them in the refrigerator. The kids like to eat them cold. We like to use them when we make sandwiches with our chaffles. They like to take them in their lunch, so we have like 10 or 11 here that they can eat on this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.